Holy health, beauty, and more. I want to talk about electromagnetic fields. Our human bodies were not meant to be exploded with all this electricity and electromagnetic fields around us. Our central nervous systems basically are electrical fields. We are. That's how our nervous system works, through the axons. But you see a huge difference between now and, say, 50 years ago, when there weren't computers, there weren't iPods, there weren't iPads, there weren't Kindles. Television has become a distraction if someone's not listening to their music through their iPod or whatever, their electric device that's emitting all this electricity, then they're watching television. And cell phone towers are popping up everywhere, not just in urban cities, but in rural areas as well. So you really can't get away from them. They're wreaking havoc with our biological system, our central nervous system, and they're causing disease. You see kids as early as 3 to 4 years old already attached to computers, and we weren't like that when we were 3 years old. But nowadays it's commonplace to see that, and they're just attached to these electrical devices that actually create havoc with our biological system and create cancer, and it's exponential. The ADHD has gone exponential. Cancer in young children has gone exponential. A lot of diseases are created because our bodies weren't meant to be surrounded by these electromagnetic fields, the EMFs, and we need to stop and take a look at what we're doing with our bodies. And maybe, you know, in today's time, like you go to school, if a child's in school, their teachers even are giving them tests through the computer. They're sending them emails through the computer. So kids they're learning that that's the norm, and it's creating a lot of diseases. It's really playing with our Mother Nature, of our central nervous system, and the way God created us. And it's just not normal. We need to do something. We need to stop kids from being at night going to sleep with music plugged into their ears. We need to stop kids from being in front of the television all weekend. We need to stop them from being on their iPods and bringing their cell phones with them everywhere they go. And it's become so commonplace that without it, it's like we can't live without these things, these devices. And it's really, with all this electromagnetic field, you know, it's just really not, it's not natural, and it's not the way God intended for us to be. No one wants to talk about it. And, you know, I mean, there's GMOs, and we can control a little bit of that. You know, our food, the water's polluted. You know, it's hard to control everything. We can control some of the water, but water and the food, and the air is polluted because they're spraying a lot of chemicals come down. And as soon as I walked outside yesterday, my nose was just running like crazy. So, and it had been raining, so who knows what's going on in the sky and why the water is like that. The rainfall isn't clean. Like, you used to smell rain as refreshing. Well, I don't think so anymore. I think that, you know, I'm not trying to give bad news or anything. I'm just trying to give you the picture, the big picture of what's going on that people are unaware of. And we need to advise people of that. You know, educating more people about ways to mitigate some of the problems, so we won't be dying off the population with overuse of these devices and being in areas that create havoc with our systems. And maybe somebody needs to step forward, and maybe groups need to be more active on this issue and educate even the teachers about what is really happening to to these kids, and as they get older, it only gets worse because the systems, the cells recreate, but they're not as perfect as we get older. Every time we get replication of our cells as we get older, they're not quite the same. It's like taking a Xerox copy and copying a copy over and over and over again. It's never quite as clear. It gets a little more blurred, a little more blurred, a little less perfect, more imperfect, and that's the same thing with our cells. So I'm just trying to explain to you in a way to make you realize that over time that it's going to just do more harm than good. So advise people and reach out and educate people. That's my goal. Thank you for listening. Nicole Lee, Health, Beauty, and More.